Hello. Wide. Anyway, Blokees, what are they? They seem to be the Funko of the model kit world, for lack of a better term. They have tons of licenses to everything, apparently. And they put out model kits. And they also combine those model kits with something I absolutely hate. Blind boxes. I fucking hate blind boxes. I want to know what's in the box, damn it, but that is unless you get the classic class, such as this TF1 Starscream. This is what we have until the Generations one Studio Series comes out later this year. The picture of Starscream. I really like this design for Starscream. It comes with a Megatron alt mode, and apparently he's got light up eyes. And you will need Li batteries, but apparently you will need no brush, no glue, and no cutters. Why are they using the shattered glass Decepticon insignia? Couldn't they use a bit of purple? And apparently he has alternate hands. You know, I liked Starscream. When they did first introduce him, my thought was, please don't do the G1 voice. And for a split second, I was like, oh, they're not going to do the... Oh, they're doing the G1 voice. They're doing... Fine. But yes, this is a model kit, so I have to build it. So we're going to have to switch cameras, and then we're going to come back once it's finished to give my final thoughts on the figure. So, camera 1.
Camera 2. Also, main cast, what are you doing? Get out of here. Alright, let's do it. What are we doing? Okay, yeah, oh, right. A2... 6. Or is that... Looks more like a 9. But you just kind of twist them off? Yeah. Just kind of twist them off. And there are eyes somewhere. Okay, so, yep, 6. That is a 6. Where the heck? Oh, it must be... Okay. So it's in this bag. And these are things that are not on a sprue. So I believe it's this piece that pops into the... Yep. Goes like that. Right there. And now we go to D1, 15, and 14. So 15 and 14 are the front and back of the helmet. I popped something else off unintentionally. So just plug the face into the helmet. I realize this should all be on camera. There we go. Front of the helmet. Close it up. Doesn't seem to want it closed, but there you have a Starscream head. Now the next thing will be the right arm. So back to D1, 16 and 11. So this piece is 16. Where is 11? There is 11. This piece just goes in there. Like that. Then we get A1-3 and A1-1, which is 1 and 3. Also, I realize this is a complete mess right here, but oh well. So 3 goes on the front. Like that. And 1 probably, does it go? Yep. Like that. So then we go to A2 and go for 1, which then snaps onto here. Also, I have to look at the camera constantly to remember to put something in frame. And D1 18. Believe that's not the note. Where is it? Yeah. This piece. So that goes into the shoulder. Like that, and that provides the shoulder joint. And there's a separate piece for, we can attach the null ray after, but we have to grab C1, 3, and 4, along with D1 number 8. I imagine this is not the most thrilling commentary. So 8 is this one. We need that, and then C1. C. It has some blue. Yep, I see the C1. There it is. So 3 and 4, which are these bits right up here. And these attach joint. Yep, okay. Like that. And like that. The right way up? Yes. So that plugs in right there. Does it peg in further? Because it feels kind of weak. No, guess it doesn't. And then we take the null rays. Where did they go? Right here. 12 or 13? It wants 9. Never mind. Where's... Oh, what am I... That's... Okay, that's the wrong one. This one, number 9. And then that plugs in right there. To look like that. You get basically a tiny version of his null rays. Oh my god. Why? That feels so weak. That is seriously it? Okay, then we're gonna do the hand for that arm. So F1, we're gonna do 4. So that's a hand. And then we have a couple pieces to attach to the hand. C1. Oh, just one piece to attach to that hand. And then there is a alternate open hand. That's 8. That is the open hand. So do we want C1 13, which is a small thing to go just on his knuckle there, and then that ball joint slides in. Come on. There we go. There you have one arm. And a similar thing for the other wrist, but we want 12. If you want an open hand like that. So now we can do right arm, left leg. Why does it jump all the way to the left leg? Let's where's the right arm? Sorry, where's the left? Oh no, that is the left arm. I read that wrong. Excuse me. We're doing the same thing. But there, 2 arms. Let's get a shoulder pad going there. 1 and 2. There you go. Second arm done. null ray. Is the hand on a different sprue? Hand is on F1. Yes, it is on a different sprue. Yes, you are right there. So now you got two arms with optional hands. Let's keep going. Let's do the crotch. B1. So 6, 7. There we go. Yeah. Broke off some of the sprue with it, but didn't. So 6 and 7. Yeah, kind of those pieces. And then we need E1, 13 and 14. So these are going to plug into the skirt armor and through it. Yep, and then plug in to the back. And I'll form the crotch. We also need B13 and B18. Three. For a little front skirt action. And 8 for butt skirt action. That's going to hinge. All right. We've got a crotch. Let's do the body. E1. 5. Is this the piece? No, it's probably something different. We'll leave that. I'm trying to find... the core. It didn't explain how to... Oh, it does. It just grab this and grab... Which is it? That? Push it down, and there's a pin. Not a pin, but this plugs into the back? Which is the back? The part that, yeah, okay. Ah, I turned it on. How did I do that? How? How did I turn it on? How do I turn it off? It's also a good question. Where in the instructions does it say how to turn it off? I turned it off. I turned it back on. Light up features, how do they work? D1, 3, and 4. Four is the back. 3 is the front. I turned it off again. I don't know how. So, okay. So you want B1, 4. And we also want B1, 5. And A2, 7, and 8. Where's my 8? Oh, I see A2. A2, Baranicto. So I want 3. Okay, there's a second piece here that doesn't make sense because it's not labeled. But is it the... Oh, it must be one of the translucent pieces. Yes. That's weird that they don't label the things that are in the bag. Like, they label anything that's on a sprue. But this goes in here. It goes up top. And then it's really tiny gray piece. Yep. Goes like that. And that'll go on the front of the chest to be his cockpit. Sort of stand in for the cockpit. Like that. A2, 7, and 8. Also, the way I'm awkwardly sitting, my fan is hitting me, but it's only like hitting my thigh, and it's... Honestly, I'm kind of sweating doing this. Where does it... Yep, okay, so these go up here. Like that. That thing's on a C-clamp. Can I get it a tighter fit? Just don't move it, I guess. My fat fingers, small pieces. There we go. Looks like some Iron Man chest plate detail, but it's Starscream. So let's keep going. F1, 1. Yeah, this one. How does that go? Stands up like that. B1 and 2. No bingo yet. 1, 2. Kinda. Yep. Stand up like that. Oh, they go in the pegs. Oh. Like that. And that. And now we're going to attach some wings. So, start with A1. No, that's A1. Start with 8. And because it's Starscream, the Decepticon symbols have to be upside down. Now A1, 6 attaches like that. And in the middle, we'll attach D1, 13. The bigger null rays. The light turned on again. I need clean space in front of me for all these different parts, and this one I took off for an undisclosed reason. Yeah, that's it for that wing. You've got a pair of wings. Now we take the backpack, attach these wings to said backpack, and attach them to the light up chest. Right there. That's starting to look like a Starscream. Let's attach his head. And both arms. And even his crotch. That's looking pretty good. Where's the other hand I made? There it is. Put those off to the side. Put Starscream down there. Now we have to make some legs. We're almost done. This was basically a dry run because I've never done this before. And these are going to be some Megatron parts because he comes with an included Megatron alt mode. So these bits. So which side? Yeah. I'm trying to look at the picture and I'm trying to see if it makes sense. No, I think it's just the round piece goes in the front. The one with the peg through goes on that side. Yeah. Ah, there we go. Slide it through. This one. Yep. Oh, it pegs together like that. That's... Is that the extent of your knee? Okay. Not a fan of that. So now we're gonna put some armor. C1 1. Ball joint is down below. Go. A2 9. And that goes like that. It looks pretty good for a Starscream leg. So D1 1 with F1 7 plugs together to be a hip, plugs into the leg. Now you have a hip joint, and we're going to do a foot before we attach it. So E1 3 goes with C1 9 and 7. 9 7 7 on the front like that to make his hooves. Upside down. It's supposed to. I had it upside down. Nine goes on the back. Yep. Plugs in like that. One leg. Let's do the other leg. As I was saying. So on the back of the wing, this piece fills in that back panel. Yes. And there's another one to fill in the other one. Oh, his arm. Null ray fell off. Let's make another leg. Pop the hips on the ball joints. What did I forget? D1, 2, F1, 6. I did forget those. And shablam! 1 TF1 Starscream. And that was not a bad build. Oh! We're going to go to the other camera for final thoughts, but before then, let's build the Megatron vehicle mode. So you take these two Megatron feet and plug G1, 2 onto it like that. And do the same thing the other side. Like those. You can't see those. Let's take Starscream out. Take D1, 9. There's some pieces in here. Won't worry about those. So this goes like that. Attaches to that, attaches to that, and then the legs go in the big, like that. And there you have a tiny Megatron tank. And hey, no leftover pieces. And I didn't lose anything, surprisingly. So, yeah. We're going to switch back to camera 1 for some final thoughts. Oh, no, let's open this that I didn't. I believe this is a stage, which is just 2 pieces of the same thing. And do they connect to each other? They do. They're a place to put your things. Yep. Camera 1, back to you.
So, after that building session, which you totally didn't skip, right? I can honestly say I'm a fan. I like this toy. It doesn't hurt that I really like how streamlined and sleek this version of Starscream is. So let's talk articulation. Head is on a ball joint. Up and down, the nod, rotation. The wings are on a hinge. And they're on this hinge, so you can fold them against the back if you want a much cleaner look. Shoulders are on a ball joint, which gives you a lot of motion like that. Full forwards, complete outwards, bicep swivel, elbow hinge, and a ball jointed wrist with the options of opening hands or fists. It does have a waist swivel, and this little piece folds up to get out of the way, as do the skirts to make way for the ball jointed hips, which are full range. You do get not a thigh swivel, although you can play with the ball joint to get a swivel, but you do get a knee swivel, and very limited knees is what I thought, until I started messing with them afterwards and realized, oh, I'd put them on backwards. If you put them on the right way, you get that much knee bend. And a ball jointed ankle. Full rotation, up and down, pivot, the works. So he is very poseable. I'm genuinely surprised for like my first model kit. I'm surprised at how well this thing turned out. I am very late to the Blokees game. Although his eyes are kind of dead. But that's because he's got a light up feature. And as the package explains it, it's a shake. But just shaking him like that doesn't really work. So the best way I can figure out to do it is just give him a good smack. And there you go. Light up eyes. I like his helmet. Which is a weird thing to say about Starscream, but like the angles to the vents really give him a dynamic presence that normally isn't there with G1 Starscream's blockhead and rather blocky body. This guy just feels dynamic. And I think he pairs really well with the Studio Series Megatron. Like, he's about a head shorter, but for me, that dynamic really works. Like, Starscream is trying to punch upwards to replace Megatron, so to me it does kind of make sense that he'd be a little bit shorter looking up at him saying, I want your position. Although you don't get that in TF1. Theoretically, you would get it in the second or third movie, but he also came with a little buildable Megatron alt mode, which has 3 points of articulation, the cannon, and each of the legs, as well as this stand, which these pieces are kind of superfluous. But I wish the stand had like dedicated place to put the hands, because there really isn't, unfortunately. You do have these 4 circles which he can plug into with the holes on his feet, like that, if you really need him to stand up. I mean, it's just gotta balance him correctly. You know, besides the size to box, which I really don't think is that big an issue because it's a model kit, and this turned out way better than I expected. And, well, I'm kind of already hooked because, yeah, tune in next time while we build him. Even though I have a Bumblebee. Oh well. If you're a model kit collector and a Transformers fan, and you haven't gotten Blokees yet, what are you waiting for? I know people call them Blokees. We're not English. We're Canadian. We're not British. Or if you just can't wait for TF1 Studio Series Starscream, and that size comparison does it better for you, go with this. Or if you're just a really big fan of Starscreams and want one that doesn't transform, also go with this guy. So, until next time, keep on building. And keep it weird. Bye.